We are right here in the middle, almost done with my first ever signature series, Be Evil, where we form a safe space together of self expression and not conformity. Forget how everyone else thinks we should be. As long as we are safe and not causing harm to others, we have every right to shine our own little unique lights. Hey there, it's Jitsi, and you're listening to the Crush Chronicles podcast, a safe space for millennials to reflect on our crushes and how they affect our lives. So grab your coffee or wine, pull out your old diaries, and settle in for today's topic and discussion. Hey there, my evil little crushers. Thank you for tuning in. And for new listeners, hi, my name is Rachel, aka Jitsi, and at Rachel Jitsawat on all of my socials. I'm the host and the author of The 9 Lives of Rachel Jitsawat over on Patreon. And that's where I'm publishing my first memoir, also titled The Crush Chronicles. Although this podcast is inspired by that memoir, you do not have to have read any of it to enjoy the episode. If you'd like to anyway, you may find the link to today's chapter in the show notes or visit patreon.com/jitsi. For today's sneak peek reading, I tried to choose an excerpt that would fit in with the theme, but teen Rachel was going through some stuff, so it wasn't so easy, but I did my best. So here's a random reading from my junior year with Elaine. I'd only performed a handful of times previously, but this was going to be the hardest bit of acting I had to do. The girls that were already on stage portraying Graham's collection of chicks were pretty, skinny, and actually knew how to act sexy, which is what Blaine was directing. All of the females in Graham's presence were supposed to be seductively fawning over him, except for one senior who slapped him in the middle of the number when she figured out his game. Why, of all the girls, why did Blaine pick me? And now for today's episode. Remember, I want you to think of this as you're walking around in public and you see a more confident version of yourself and you're like, hey, they're hot. This season's tagline is to be somebody's crush, starting with your own, and I hope this series is going to help you get there. If this sounds like something you'd like to tune into, great! Although this is the 4th episode in the series, we're almost done. You don't have to listen to them in order, so go back and listen to the first few episodes after this one if you'd like to. And I will always start each episode with this reminder. The B in Be Evil will always stand for balance. You are not chasing perfection by doing this framework. You are trying to add little sparkles to your days, little bits of happiness. At the end of each episode, I'll give you one action assignment to at least help you eliminate decision fatigue, because we all have mounds of that nowadays. And you can try to implement whatever feels good whenever you have time. And I hope you do balance the action with a form of rest. Remember, yin yang. Okay, today is about the I in Be Evil, which is be investigatory. So obviously, when we think about investigating, it's asking questions. So I could also be investigatory. It could also be kind of like interviewing yourself. You really need to try and get to know yourself. One thing that I've noticed about myself, my past self and my current self, writing the Crush Chronicles, is that when I was younger, I was really outwardly projecting and trying to figure out what everybody else wanted from me. And I never really thought about what I wanted. I did. I was a teenager. I was self-centered in certain ways. But looking back in that reflection, I really never considered what I actually wanted for myself then or even for future Rachel. So I think it's really important that we ask ourselves questions. We need to investigate certain aspects about ourselves. So we're going to break this down. So number 1 is interview yourself. Like I said, you could think of investigatory, or you can also think of interview. And we want to go beyond your favorite things. Okay, you know your favorite color, your favorite food, yada, yada. When those are also okay to change, it's okay for you to change your mind. You grow and develop and change as the years go on. But think about what you actually do like. And I'm not talking about favorite foods or whatever. Like, how do we go deep here? What do you like to spend your time doing? What is actually important to you? It's really easy nowadays with how busy we are to just kind of get lost in our routines and our habits and playing catch up and just trying to keep up with the demands of our daily lives, whether you're a working mom, stay-at-home mom, a stay-at-home parent, or work remotely or work part-time, whatever it is. We are thrown constantly these responsibilities and tasks and things, but how do we really want to spend our days? Do we want it just to be focused on these, on bills and responsibilities and tasks, or is there something more that we want? And 9 times out of 10, I bet most of us want something more. And again, with us being so busy, we can really let that time slip by. I mean, I'm 41, and part of this was because when the pandemic hit, I was 35. So I lost the last half of my 30s basically to the pandemic. But I feel like my 30s just kind of evaporated. We really do need to think about how quickly we're letting the time pass us by without thinking about how we would really actually like to spend our time. And therefore, once we figure out how we would like to spend it, we need to make the time for how to spend it. Going back to one of the previous episodes in this framework is, making a date with yourself. That's a good way to figure out how you would like to spend your time. So besides that, what do you like about yourself? I know that's a hard thing to think about. What's your best quality? What's your biggest weakness? That knowing your weaknesses doesn't really mean you're weak. It can give you a strength because you know how to accommodate yourself. Please excuse this interruption, but I'd like to take a moment to tell you about my new piece of internet on Patreon. Since season 2, I made the decision to switch from Substack to Patreon because the 9 Lives of Rachel Jitsawat, of which the Crushed Chronicles is under the umbrella of, is growing, and Patreon is the best space to accommodate the growth. I encourage you to join as a patron to help found our community of 9 lifers, where we support each other's past selves in order to live as our best selves here in the present. If you'd like to join a paid tier, funds collected will be used for a Riverside membership or even new headphones, so I can deliver better quality episodes to you with access to a full suite of editing tools. You can become a patron by visiting patreon.com/Jitsi. That's patreon.com/JITSIE. The link will be in the show notes. Going to the second part to break this down, think about what makes you feel good. And I'm going to break this down further like I have in previous episodes, but what makes you feel good physically? Is it eating like your favorite salad or making sure you get the right amounts of water? Is it going on a daily walk? Is it hitting the gym? For those of you that can do that, I applaud you. I can't. It's not my forte. I have to figure out some other way to get my exercise in, but we'll get there. Yeah, so what makes you feel good physically? Is it, making sure that you have the right moisturizer or conditioner? Those things are not superficial. If they make you feel good and it's not harming you in some way, like please do not get like $100 shampoo if it's ruining your budget. But if it's making you feel good, then there can't be any harm in that. You deserve it, right? You're the VIP, remember? Okay, also think about mentally. Is it having your morning coffee in a quiet place instead of rushing it when you're going through the drive-thru at Starbucks or whatever have you? Does it feel good for you to journal? Does it not feel good for you to journal? What feels good in place of that? Also think about spiritually. What do you like to do? Do you like to go to church? Do you like to have morning prayer time or evening prayer time? Whatever. If you're a witchy kind of like me, do you like to work with the new and the full moons? It helps you set intentions. Does that make you feel good? Also think about these in the sense of time. What makes you feel good right now? Obviously, that's the easiest one to do because here we are right now in the present. It's always easiest to satisfy our needs right now. That's why, again, going back to the doom scrolling, and I know I reference that a lot, but it's because it's a big problem for a lot of us. But we doom scroll because that's what feels good to us right then, right now, even though we know it's probably not the best for our future selves. So think about what makes you feel good right now. But remember, as long as it's not harming yourself or others. So if you know that doom scrolling is really going to end up not helping you out in the present time, try and negate that and think of something that you could do instead in this moment to make you feel good. Is it going to be reading a book, going on that walk, having that silent coffee, doing that journaling session? Think about that. Not to say that we don't have a time to do our doom scrolling. Yes, I feel like it has its moments, but it's really hard to make sure that we stop. So schedule a time and then cut it out and then do something that's going to make you feel good. That being said, also make sure you plan for what's going to make you feel good in the future. Recently, within the past year or so, I've been really, and I'm very late in this because, like I said, I'm 41, but I've been really thinking about future Rachel and retirement. What's going to make me feel good then is, for future Rachel, is knowing that she's going to be taken care of by me, by present, and then it'll be past Rachel. So things like that. Or, if I take care of my skin and hair now, it's going to feel even better later. You kind of get the picture. So don't just think about yourself now. Also make sure that you're gifting things to your future self. In contradiction to number 2, the third point I'd like to make is take note, investigate what makes you feel bad. And same breakdown. What makes you feel bad physically? What makes you feel bad mentally, spiritually? What makes you feel bad right now? And what makes you feel bad in the future? Or what do you want to avoid making you feel bad in the future? Even though this seems like something that we don't really want to dwell on because the word bad, I think that if you know ahead of time, it makes you a lot more prepared. It's easier for you to prepare for those moments or those instances, and they become easier for you to recognize in yourself. So, for example, physically, my weakness, and actually now that I think about it, I'm very proud of myself. I have not succumbed to this weakness in a while. My junk food weakness is specifically the Kettle brand jalapeno potato chips. I can eat half a bag in I could probably eat a whole bag in one sitting, honestly, but usually I could eat a half a bag in one sitting, and then I feel like crap the next morning. If you haven't noticed before, I have mentioned I have PCOS. So my doctor straight up told me that if I have a potato chip, it's completely more detrimental to my body than somebody who does not have PCOS. So I know that's going to make me feel bad, not only in the moment, but also in the future. So again, I'm very proud of myself. I've been really good. I can't tell you the last time I had a bag of those chips. Yeah. So that's something that I avoid physically because it's going to make me feel bad, even though it might feel so good in the moment because goddamn potato chips. Mentally, again, doom scrolling. I have little time limits on my phone. Sometimes they're successful, sometimes they're not, but I know that's something that really gets me down. I don't watch the news. I do stay informed, but I do not sit down and watch a news program because I suffer from general anxiety and I just straight out, I've got other things that I've got to worry about. I have 2 young kids that I've got to take care of and I can't be wigging out over here in the corner. So that's something that I cut out to spare my mental health. Again, I stay informed, but I do not watch news programs. Spiritually, things that might make me feel bad is honestly, it's being in places where people judge me for my spirituality. So I make sure I avoid those situations. Things that make me feel bad right now, that's in the moment. It could be, honestly, mine is mom guilt. If I am like laying on the couch and I'm not getting something productive done, I know that's more of a mom guilt problem than a feel bad because I'm doing something that's not good for me problem, but that's usually my number one thing. And usually it's really hard for me to get up and, go vacuum or start a chore or whatever it is. But that's usually the thing for right now. And then something that might make me feel bad in the future, again, is, I have PCOS, I'm pre-diabetic. If I don't manage that, I'm going to feel worse in the future. Also, same thing going back to my retirement plan or the very small plan that I am trying to put together at the moment. If I don't have money saved up when I'm older, I'm probably not going to feel good about it. So those are all examples from my personal life. If you think of any that you could add, please comment with them. Send me a message. I'd love to hear some fresh ideas. But those are the 3 breakdowns I have for being investigatory and getting to know yourself so that you can just live your best life during 2026. If you know, you know. Anyway, now it's time for just one thing. So with each episode, I will leave you with just one thing, just one action assignment to help eliminate decision fatigue. Okay, so be evil. Action assignment number 4, leave yourself love notes. Write one thing you like about yourself each day for 1 week. Or if that's too much of commitment, do it each day for 3 days, or even just do it for 1 day and see how that goes. You can use Post-its, paper and tape, or you could even use a dry erase marker straight up on your mirror and put them up on your mirror so you can see every day when you're getting ready. If you don't get ready in front of a mirror, especially with Post-its, tape and paper, put them wherever you are getting dressed in the morning. You could even leave it underneath your phone if you use your phone as an alarm, so you can see it when you wake up. We don't have to wait for outside love. We can have love for ourselves. And just like when you have a romantic partner or even somebody close to you, like a family or a really close friend, sometimes even though we know that they love us, it's still really nice. And what's the word? Gratifying? No, not gratifying. I can't think of the word, but it's nice to hear it. It's nice to have them say it, even though it's already understood. The same thing goes for yourself. So leave yourself a love note. Tell yourself you did a good job today. Tell yourself you're going to make it through that big, hard presentation that you're stressing out about. You deserve it. Show yourself some self-love. leave yourself a love note. Okay, and that's it for this episode. If you'd like to dive a little deeper with a little guidance, be sure to sign up for the free tier of my Patreon, where I will be sending out the show notes to this episode with a link to downloadable PDF to help you get out and going on your Be Evil journey. I'll see you in 2 weeks for the final episode of the framework when we go over the L in evil. And until next time, be safe, be evil, be you. Bye. So, what do you think? How do you feel? If you like this episode and would like to hear another, download the Alive Podcast app, where you can find our archive of audio episodes and discover hundreds of shows featuring Black and diverse voices on the first Black and woman-owned network. If you upgrade to ad-free, please remember to select Rachel Jitsawat as your referring host. The Crush Chronicles podcast is produced by me, Rachel Jitsawat. The music is by Musictown, and the sound effects are by Pixabay. Thank you for listening, and until next time, remember to be somebody's crush, starting with your own.